All right, guys, I'm so excited about this. I have been watching so many of you guys on the Escape page, and I'm just so excited to learn some tips from all of you rock stars. So pretty much we're going to get started, and I've got a list of the people that said they wanted to touch base on each topic. But so what we'll do is we'll let those people open up each panel, and then at the end we will just we'll open it up. And so if anybody else wants to throw in any other tips that people didn't cover, then you guys are more than welcome. So we've already started the recording. So I'm going to let Jody start it off. I know she's got a wrap appointment here in a little bit, but she's just going to get started with business struggles and longevity, and then whatever she doesn't cover, then I'll kind of jump in and go from there.
Okay, hey everybody, great to be on here today. I see a few more people I know might want to jump in on this. Stan and I have been in the business for 6 years. And of course, when we got in 6 years ago, you built a business a lot different than you do today. And so it took us almost 2 years to go diamond, and took us 5 years to go presidential. And, you know, sometimes I just, gosh, almost cry to think, what if we had quit the few times that we got kind of discouraged. And I just think it's good. I just admire you guys that have promoted fast, and I'm in awe, and I watch your YouTubes and try to learn from you. But, you know, a lot of people don't grow fast. So I think it's just important to, you know, just keep encouraging those people, just keep working with them and not to give up on them. But at the same time, I was telling Brittany, we were talking this morning, you don't want to get into management mode. I think one of the frustrations we all have is having teams that don't really do very much. And I know when I'm not growing sometimes, it's because I'm kind of in management mode. I'm trying to get everybody to work. But when I get back to work and I start signing people and get my focus off of trying to manage people, my business grows. But I'm just thankful that we didn't give up and that we kept going and we kept working. No matter how long it took us, it's still great, you know, to be where we are and live at the beach, and just I'm so thankful for it works. And so also, I know I see a couple people on here that are my age, like Tamara and Deb, and, you know, I just wanted to talk a little bit about older distributors. I mean, you know, don't think older distributors can't do the business, and we bring some things to the table, I think, that some other people need, which is maybe, I don't know, the fact that we've been dealing with people for a long time. So I think one of my strengths is to be able to say things in a way to encourage people rather than just discourage people, because it's so easy sometimes when you get upset with people just to want to give them a piece of your mind and tell them, you know, you need to do this or you need to do that. But, you know, we need to find a way to do that that encourages them and doesn't discourage them. So if you've got people that have been in a long time and they're not really growing, the best advice I can give you is to get them on self-development. I mean, you all know this, but Brittany knows Becky on my team. I mean, Becky poured her heart into this business for 3 years and was still just back and forth between Executive and Ruby. And what finally changed her was when I suggested that she start working on herself. And she became a student of the business and a student of, you know, self-development, and her business totally changed. And, you know, she just went triple, and she's been in almost 6 years. But she's been on a week-long Disney cruise, and I have cried every day looking at her pictures, because I remember those first 3 years when she wanted it so bad, and she was out blitzing every day, giving out 10, 20 blitz cards a day, and nothing was happening. But when she started working on herself was when her business started to grow. So, you know, just hope you guys will encourage people to hang in there. It doesn't happen overnight. I mean, you don't build $1 million a year, $2 million a year business in 3 months. So, you know, I try to tell my news people now, you sow the first month, you're sowing seeds, the second month, you're watering, and by the third month, you'll start bringing in those customers.
Can I make a request?
Yes, please.
Please mute your phones so that we can hear, because all we hear is the background noise. Somebody's not muted. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Okay, Jody, keep going. I'm sorry.
That's good. I was just gonna say, just encourage your team to, don't give up and love on your team. I mean, I know sometimes you just want to just jerk people up and jerk a knot in their tails, we say in the South, but you always get further, loving people and building them up. And I try to speak what I want about my team, even when I don't see it. I try to speak what I do see is the potential there, I think, and get up and say affirmations and speak positive things over my downline, even if I don't see it. And then it's more likely to come to pass if you're loving on people and, just saying, you can do this and I believe in you. And we really do have to believe in people before they ever believe in themselves. And I saw that with you, Brittany. I mean, you worked so hard, and I just always believed that you could do this business. I mean, you guys that don't know Brittany, she was almost diamond in 3 months, and then we had that wrap shortage and her team totally fell apart. And when she didn't quit, I knew she was going to be a rock star, because that would have wiped most people out of the business, to be that close to diamond and then have your 2 ruby legs just up and quit on you. So.
Deal. Awesome tips, Jody. So I just want to talk a little bit about business struggles. Like Jody said, I got into this business and I went emerald in about a month and a half. And and then we did have that awesome wrap shortage 4 years ago, where it was taking us a month to get wraps. And so, it was so discouraging. And it took me 3 years to get presidential, and compared to some of you rock stars, on this Zoom, that's a long time. And so, for the longest time, I can sit here and tell you guys, I did some comparing, and finally, when I did go presidential, a conference last year, not this year, but the year before that, I finally got out of that. And we were at It Works You this past weekend, and Hong and a couple of other leaders I got talking to. And, for my team this year, it's even been a little bit of a struggle. Last year was absolutely amazing for us. We had some awesome promotions, and this year it just seems like we're doing a lot of rebuilding. So, just talking to some other leaders this past weekend, I don't know about you guys, but do you guys ever feel like maybe you're the only one going through something? You're like, does anybody else go through this, or is it just me that has a crazy team? Does anybody else do that? Because I know I do it all the time. I'm like, oh my gosh, please tell me that I'm not the only person that has a double diamond that loves drama, or, things like that. And so it's something where, it can get discouraging. And so that's, I love the escape page, because, I'm able to talk to so many of you guys and realize, it's just not me that's dealing with struggles, that there's so many other people, and to be able, to get tips from each other. But like Jody said earlier, loving on your team. I know I've got some girls on my team where if the old Brittany would have talked to them, I probably would have said some things that I shouldn't have. But the way I am now, regardless of how they talk to me, regardless of, how negative they are, regardless if, they hate my guts, whatever, it's one of those things where I'm always going to kill them with kindness. I'm always going to love on them. I'm always going to, like Jody said, be their biggest supporter. I've got some people on my team that it is so hard to love. And I know you guys are the same way. But, it just comes with those business struggles. So, anyways, so that's just, a little bit about that. Does anybody want to unmute themselves that has anything that they want to share that they think would really inspire some of us as far as struggling with the business goes? Anybody have anything before we...
Hey, I was just going to say that I know one of my biggest struggles going past triple, because when I got in, I did go triple really fast. I went triple in 4 months, and I really don't know how I did it. But after that, I had a break where I promoted to triple in May, and then in June I didn't promote. So that was my first month in the business. I hadn't promoted, so I thought something was wrong with my business. And so I kind of backed down to I need to teach everybody to do what I'm doing. And I went into that management mode, but nobody talked to me about that management mode. So that's one thing that I'm very big about talking to, especially once my people hit diamond. I have that talk with them, because it took me Okay, so in June is when that kind of started happening. And then my husband promoted to diamond in December. But the only reason that happened is because I went to Staples and I blew up one of those massive presidential charts. And I started putting names on paper. And then after, it still took me another till April of last year to go presidential. And then I spun my wheels again until I went and I made an ambassador chart and physically put names on the paper. So I really talked to my team about you have to have that roadmap. That roadmap is your directions. Otherwise, I was just like aimlessly, like I'm a heavy recruiter for distributors, and I was just like throwing people places because I didn't have any direction. So I think it is so important to talk to our teams about management mode. And, especially if you've had times you've been in it, I try to be really honest with my team on struggles that I've had, because I think that, like you said, you can feel so alone. And, I got added to a diamond page whenever I went diamond, but there's still not enough knowledge, I feel like, when you're just with a bunch of diamonds, as there is once you're at the point that we're at now, being triple and above. So I just think it's really important to talk to our leaders and our downline about that, but spin it to a very positive way. We don't want to drag them into negativity or, oh, it's a slow. I caught myself at that time because somebody had told me in the fall that, oh, it's slow in the fall. And we've probably all said that before, but if you tell your team that, then your team takes that as an excuse to accept it and thinks, oh, well, I'm just not going to work as hard because it's slow in the fall. So I think that just us leading by examples, but then being really honest with our team is huge.
Love that. Does anybody else have anything as far as business struggles go that they want to elaborate on before we move to the next topic?
I have one thing I'd like to say is love them where they are in their journey. I think that so many times we've heard people say, oh, I'm just executive, I'm just Ruby, or I'm just Emerald, whatever it is. Identifying them and letting them know that they are so important no matter where they are in their journey, whether you send them a private message, you send them a note in the mail, you post on their wall, whatever it is, edifying people will really help you build your business. Reminding them of their why. So like for me, I didn't have a why because I just was being nice. That's all I was doing. I enrolled under my daughter Mackenzie just to be nice. And I had no intentions of working this business and didn't do anything for 2 months. And so it's hard for me to say what my why was at that time, but reminding people what their why is and that their why is going to change. So like for me, it did. I mean, my why was not existent. I did it to be nice. And then 2 months in, I realized, wow, this could give me freedom of time. I'm at that age in my life where I would love to be able to be with my grandchildren and do that kind of thing. So reminding people of their whys and then helping them see what their new why is. And again, I think that starts even with executive or even just as a distributor. Don't forget why you joined this business. And it sometimes is so helpful for them to seal the deal on potential distributors. People always say, well, how do you seal that deal? Ask them what their why is. Remind them of that and tell them that's what they need to share with their people and help them see the vision.
Brittany.
Yeah, no, I think that's awesome. I mean, hold on to say the share button.
Brittany, I just wanted to interject there that you guys, I just think it's so important. And somebody taught me this in another business we were in, that if somebody is consistently using the products, they're running an auto ship, maybe they're just a 400 leg, those people are important. And that's what I'm trying to teach my downline. Your 400 legs are important. Just because they're not a runner, don't neglect who they are. Like Deb said, they might get a why and they might take off later. But to me, if somebody is consistently using the products and they're running an auto ship, they are super important. And I still want to pour into them. Even if they're not building a team, they're still really important. And just to love on everybody, not just the people that run with it.
Well, and look at Jody. Like, for example, Jody has Becky in her downline. And what was it? Becky sat at Ruby for 3 years?
Yeah.
And so if Jody would have just gave up on her, she wouldn't have, now Becky's doing amazing and has that awesome, triple diamond leg. So, just because somebody, I know you guys know this already, but, just because, somebody's walking a little slower at first doesn't mean they're not going to be an absolute rock star one day. So, all right, guys, so we'll move on to the next topic, and that is layered leadership. So is Amanda Hall on here? Amanda, if you're on here, if you'll unmute yourself.
Yeah, she's here. Give me just a second to get her on here.
Okay.
Can you give her 5 minutes? She's up with the kids right now.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah, we'll go to the next person then. Let's see. Katie Harold, are you on here?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I can.
Hey, girl. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Okay, so did you have any specific questions that people were asking about layered leadership? I was just going to kind of tell about how I do layered leadership with my team.
Yeah, just talk about, what works for you guys. I don't know about you guys, but for me, sometimes I'll have a hard time with, distributors not stepping up and training their distributors, that type thing. So maybe you can touch base on what you guys do that works for you.
Okay. Well, and I explained this to Jen a couple of days ago. I know she's listening. So, okay. So I'm presidential and I have 21 diamonds and above on my team. I have a pretty heavy leg, but what I like to do, when I realized that everybody was just growing and that I had so many diamonds and above, I was like, okay, I have to put them in one place where we can all come together as leaders. And this may sound bad, but as the decision makers of the team. So if we were going to do a contest, or we were going to do a training, or we were going to do an opportunity, I like to decide things together with them. I don't like to be the one that's like, hey guys, we're doing a training this day. I will say, okay, this is what I think we should do. What do you guys think? So I put them all in a Voxer group. So they have just this amazing bond with each other because I've got my, it sounds funny, but my original diamonds, the ones that are really, really strong and knowledgeable in one Voxer group, and then the rest of my diamonds in another. But so I kind of think of that first group as my leadership council unofficially, I guess. But we like to make decisions together. So I'll be like, hey guys, I really want to have a training in June. I'm looking at these days. What do you guys think? And I let them make decisions and let us make decisions together. So I'm empowering them kind of, I guess. And then they have that bond together. So then they go to that group, even if they won't call me directly. If they have a question or they need something, they will go to our Destination Diamond Vox and say, hey guys, I'm dealing with this. What do you guys think? And so they're bonding with each other, and they're kind of realizing that they need to find the answers on their own. So, I talked about just doing things together. So I always tell people, I have a lot of people right now that are like, oh my gosh, is May, I have new leaders that are like, is May slow? What's going on? And I'm kind of with Ashley when I tell them, it's only slow if you make it. I have one girl that's not even been in for a year. She's almost triple. She's like, is this a season? I'm like, it's a season if you make it. If you tell your team it's a season, it's going to be. So I'm with her on that as far as the new leaders go, not even letting them think that there is a season. But so as far as coaching calls, my roller is Sarah Rankin. So back a couple months ago, we were doing a lot of coaching calls, and she's like, we got to get out of this coaching call mode. We got to get into just signing mode, and then they'll follow. So we got out of coaching calls for a couple months, but when I was doing them, let's say I was talking to a diamond, I'd be like, okay, what's going on in your organization? Tell me what's going on. Show me your chart. So I'd have them send me the chart first, and I look at it and say, okay, well, after I let them tell me everything, I'll say, well, my opinion is this. I think you need to get over here and talk to this Ruby about this, and talk to this Ruby about this, and really empower them. And I think if you do that, this will happen. And get back to me and let me know how that goes. I think that's going to be really great. So then they're like, okay, I'm a diamond. This is my responsibility to go back and talk to these people, and I'll let her know how that goes. So when they come back to me and they're like, oh my gosh, it went so well. And I'm like, that's awesome. Keep doing that. So I guess just kind of reminding them, like, you're a diamond or above. It sounds bad to say this is your job to take care of your team, but, as triple or above leaders, we don't have time to be getting in there and talking to every single qualified leg in person in our downline every single day. At this point, we've got hundreds of people in our downline. We've got to have that layered leadership with those diamonds and above. When I think of layered leadership, I think of my diamonds. And so I always suggest to them, like, if somebody's like, what should I do in my business? I tell them you need to have consistently a sample party and a team either meeting or meet up every single week. Even if it's you sitting there with another one of your diamonds, at least they know they're welcome to come to this every single week. And that we're just kind of there for them. And so if they're not local to me and I'm telling them, you got to get together with your team every single week, they're like, okay, I have to be the one to do this. Nobody else is going to plan it. I have to be the one to do this. And so I'll ask them, like, hey, how is your weekly meetup? And so just kind of reminding them of the position that they're in. And I always say, well, talk to me. What's going on? And then I'll say, well, my suggestion, is this. I would do this, this, and this. And I think that's going to work great for you. Get back to me and let me know how that goes. So you're kind of like putting the power in them to take care of their own team. And then when we come together in that, that diamond group, we make decisions together. I guess I kind of train my team right off the bat that I'm not going to be calling every single person in your downline. If somebody in your downline is doing great and you want me to give them a shout out, like, give me a little nudge, because like I said, we have hundreds of people on our team at this point, and there's no way we can do everything. So I just kind of remind them, if you need me, you got to let me know, because I'm over here building my own business. So I hope that makes sense. But I know, some people are kind of used to trying to talk to everybody, and we just can't.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I know probably last year sometime for me, I was trying to be everyone's, main leader. So I was trying to reach out and talk to everybody. And finally I realized, oh my gosh, my business is not growing because I'm trying to focus on everybody else and I'm not focused on, my follow-ups and my social media and doing things like that. So I would definitely say it's crucial to make sure, that you do have that layered leadership. But I do want to ask you guys one question while we're talking about it. As far as the layered leadership goes, I know personally, and I know we might share this with our team, so I'm probably not going to share this with this certain team, but I've got one, my double diamond leg. It's kind of came to where they exclude themselves from the team, and then they want to tell other leaders on the team, oh, well, she doesn't reach out to me as much as she did last year. Well, last year she was a ruby, now she's a double diamond. So I follow up with her every week. How would you say to get around that so she can't say that? Because I feel like she wants me to invest as much time in her as a double diamond as I did last year when she was a ruby. And she's a leader now. So I guess for me, I don't feel like I should have to stay on her like I used to. Does that kind of make sense? Does anybody want to chime in?
So you're saying that, like, when she was a ruby, she was more of like a team player than she is now? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, she came to meetings, she would help me with things, and now that she's went double, she's completely, like, taken her team away from us. And so, like, now I barely know any of her team. Like, I'll reach out to them and, let them know who I am, that type thing. But, she'll complain and say certain things, but yet she's taken herself away from our team. She doesn't come to our meetings. She doesn't even come to my one team, one missions. So
in my opinion, you literally just have to shut it down. Like, just let her know, like, that's not acceptable. If you want my love and support, we're better together. You got to come over here with the team. This is how we operate here.
Yeah.
We don't operate separate over there. You need to get her to realize that if she bonds with the other leaders, her business is going to do better, because not always her upline is going to be the one that she has aha moments from and learns from. Like, for our one-to-one missions, obviously I put it together, but I am like, okay, I need all diamonds and above there an hour early. I need everybody to bring product who can do what. I let them know this is a team effort. We are not in this alone. We do everything together. And if you want to go over there, I mean, we're not over there. We're here together as a team. So come on over and just let them know, like, if they segregate themselves and their team, those are the teams that fall off, honestly.
Yeah, that's what I've seen. Good deal. I love that. Okay, is Amanda, are you ready now? Are you able to chat? Amanda Hall?
Hi, sorry.
That's fine. Okay,
right about the time to get on, all the kids got loud, so I came outside, so we're good.
Okay, so layered leadership is what we're on right now.
Yeah, so for me, everything with my team, I just try to cultivate a mentality for them. That way they feel very invested. I only have a few diamond and above leaders, but even them, I keep on our team page, not to hold them back for anything. And I actually do sometimes feel like that's what they think, just because of experience. So I've made it a team page where they have equal responsibility for our page. We do something where we each have a day of the month, and it's not just diamond and above leaders. It's like my rubies and things like that. People like that are strong and they're up and coming. We'll each have a day of the week, and we rotate. And so each day of the week, we'll do a team takeover page where we have those leaders pouring into the team page, talking about tips that work well for them, talking about, hold on just a second. Talking about tips for them, things that they can do, things that have been helpful for them, sharing videos that they've made, videos that have been helpful. They just have this day of the week where they just pour into the team. And I think that's great because it offers everybody else the opportunity to learn from somebody other than myself. It holds everybody accountable. They're responsible for that day. So they have time to really just lead the way that they lead. We all have different strengths and different weaknesses. That has been very well for us. On Wednesdays, we have what we call a Wow Wednesday. It is a distributor spotlight day. We all spend time that day encouraging that distributor, the distributor spotlight person. And then we also actually encourage that person, no matter what their rank, whether they're an executive, ruby, emerald, whatever they are, when they're a distributor spotlight, they get invited to join in on the team takeover page. So then that day, they pour into the team things that they have found helpful. So that's really nice because we do a wealth of different ranks within that distributor spotlight. It gives everybody the opportunity to learn from a peer at whatever level. So that has worked really, really well for us. We've only been doing it for a couple of months, but we have great interaction and reaction from that. I emphasize everything on our team page is a team page. Even when I announce new distributors, I say, welcome, this is our team. This is a team page that my leaders and I put together for our downline. So they always feel a part of something, and that's worked really well for us. And then from the beginning, and something that I think that is so simple, but it gets so hard to do because we get so busy and so we grow so quickly, is we celebrate everybody's victories, no matter how big or small. The 4 loyal customers, sharing good tips when they get boxed in for something, when they promote, when they have just done an excellent job of, like this BOGO is going on right now. And I have somebody on my team that signed 4. She's not even a Ruby, and she's now boxed herself into Ruby with this promo. So we'll do a big thing on our team page today for her. I just really try to make everybody feel super important, and I want to highlight their strengths. I want them to feel invested. I want them to feel excited to share what's working so well with them. If they're anything like me, they have really bad anxiety. They don't like talking in front of people. They get their words jumbled up. The only way that they're going to get better at any of those things or any type of struggle that they have is putting themselves out there. So we constantly try to get people to do that as well. And then because we do those things and we break it down on such a small scale, like the 4 loyal customers, the tips, the getting boxed in, whatever it is that we're celebrating, my team gets excited about that, and then they, even as an executive, they start doing that with their people. And so it's just a constant cycle of positivity within that group. And it's contagious. And so we have had just just a phenomenal kind of reaction to all of that. And like I said, I know everybody's sitting there and they're probably thinking, oh my gosh, it's so hard just to keep up with knowing who got their 4 loyal customers within their 30 days. But because I start that with everybody, then they start that with their people. So it really never becomes my responsibility. So when they do go to their groups, they're going to, when they do start on team pages, they're going to adopt that and they're going to take that with them. And it's just like spreading positivity like wildfire. I always tell people to borrow our confidence, if they're like I said, if they're like me when they started, they didn't want to necessarily speak out about something, or maybe something was working good for them, but they just weren't comfortable enough to share that. And so I think that we have just really focused on building positive, confident people within our group that are so excited to go and teach this and share this. So that's something that's worked for me. It's not necessarily something technical. It's not, something super specific, but it's just cultivating this, almost like this generation, this attitude, this mentality within our group. And it is just, it's awesome. They're always excited, and that's great.
Well, Amanda, we had a question for the Wow Wednesday. Sydney Sableton said, is it one DT or each leader picks a DT?
We don't have a huge group, so we just we all get together. Usually, this is another thing too that I forgot to mention. We, on this same schedule, if it's your week to pick the leader for the DT, then you're also the one that is picking and kind of running our team wrap parties that week as well. So for instance, I will have one of my Ruby leaders, Lauren. She is a strong leader. She's just been sitting at Ruby for a while because she's just had people dropping off. And so if it's her week, she will pick the DT spotlight for that Wednesday. But on that Sunday, when we have our weekly wrap party, she'll be kind of in charge of that weekly wrap party. I'll set everything up on ScentShare, but she runs that. And then she can pick a handful of her people that are doing really well that we know that are going to answer compliantly to those wrap party questions. And so she's teaching her people, and then we're teaching her that layered leadership. And then that week, she gets to pick somebody from her team to highlight. So she's also kind of in charge of that. So I really just try to, I was feeling very overwhelmed, and I think that impacted my business. I took a step back and I was like, I had that shift. Okay, I don't want to go into management mode because I know what that means, but I'm over here struggling to run my business and run my team page and all that. And, I was just struggling there for a while. I think we've all probably hit that. And so I took a little bit of time and I reflected on what stresses me out. What are things that I don't have to do? What are things that I can pass on to other people that then can enrich what they're doing for their teams? And what carries over, what happens in my group page or our team page carries over into those group chats as well that a lot of the leaders have with their downlines. So to answer your question, it's the person that runs the wrap party on that Sunday, and they'll pick the person that Wednesday, and then they will kind of, that gives them a chance to kind of step out as a leader too and say, I've selected this person and this person is doing this. And then that shares another layer story. So we just really try to, anytime we can insert something like that, it teaches responsibility, and then also just kind of, it takes a lot off of me. But it's, I don't know, it's enriching everybody because it's so positive.
That's perfect. I love the idea of the Wow Wednesday. Good deal. Mm-hmm. Well, does anybody else have any layered leadership tips that they want to throw in before we move on to cruise excitement?
Can I ask a question really quick?
Yeah, sure.
So you said you picked the one leader, and she picked someone from her downline. How do you pick that leader each week?
Well, that leader is the one that's already on my calendar. So every month I make a calendar, and it's the leaders that help me with the team page. It's the people that have stepped up. They're the admins on the page. And that's another thing that we do. Bi-weekly, we do a leadership team Zoom. And so I give them the opportunity to express any concerns or any ideas at that time. We talk through things, and then we put kind of a plan into action. So we started this calendar, and we had everybody choose what day works for them. Wednesday happened to be a day that was kind of in the middle of the week. And and it just happened to become our Wow Wednesday. So you can really do it however you want to do it, but those are consistently the leaders that are a part of my page. And then when we see people take off on a Wow Wednesday, when they're a DT, guest, and they pour into the team, and they just, those people that just get it, and they get everybody excited, and they are comfortable and confident to not only rock out their business, but to share what they're doing. Then on days where someone has something going on, I'll come back to that person. I'll say, you know what, you just absolutely rocked this Wow Wednesday. I need you some help on this day. Would you be willing to step up and help me? Or if I can't, somebody has something going on and they're not able to help me with a team wrap party, then I'll go to that person and I'll say, you just did the most amazing job of doing this. Now, can you come over and help me do this too? And it gets them going and it gets them excited, and it works very well.
Good deal. Does anybody have anything else as far as layered leadership they want to throw in? Yeah, Patrice, sure.
So this year has been huge for me because when I first started, I went triple really fast. And I didn't know what layered leadership meant. I thought I had to do everything. So I had created a culture on my team that if you want to promote, you have to fill every box, all the volume. We didn't understand the concept of duplication. So when this year came and it's like, okay, I'm ready to change. I'm tired. Like, I've been running around. We have to shift. And the biggest thing I did differently this year was I changed my definition of leadership. Leadership to me meant that you can enroll a ton. You can go out there, use Instagram, Facebook, web parties, blitzing. That was leadership to me. But now it's, if you can close a customer or distributor, I'm honoring you as a leader. And that was just really different for me. I just had this rock star scouting thing where if you weren't a rock star, you weren't a leader. So it really was a personal shift. And what I did this year was, of course, I worked closely with people so everyone can enroll, because it wasn't just, oh, if you were 1 out of 20, you can do great, then I just need you. I really do honor that everyone where they are. But when someone can show me they can enroll a customer, they can enroll a distributor, I'll do the first couple calls with them so they get comfortable. Now I'm like, I need your help. So I need you to do the 3-way call with this newbie. She's coming in. I'm going to place her with your team. Can you help her help her best friend get the system? Her best friend's interested, and I let them do that. And if she's like, I can't do it, I'm freaking out, I'm like, well, I'll be on mute. So if you feel like that first time you're doing your coaching call, I'll be there if you really need me to be. But I want you to know I believe in you. You did awesome closing your first 4 customers with me. I kind of do I kind of let their hand go. The first call or 2, I'll talk primarily. The third call, they're going to go ahead and start the call off. I can close it if they're like, eh. But the 4th call, they absolutely have to do it on their own. And I'm just kind of on mute in the shadows and no one knows I'm there. So once they kind of go through that process, I'm like, all right, awesome. Well, you did great. So I need your help. I really want to move this newbie to you. I think you'll be a great mentor to her. Can you help me with her screenshots? Can you help me with her calls? And that really empowered the people who enroll with me maybe late December. They went Ruby really quickly because they're like, oh, wait, I can do this. Oh, wait, I do know how to close customers. And being a leader isn't what I used to think it was, which was you got 10 customers and 20 distributors this month. Now it's just you did meet your steps to success in your first month with me together, but that's a big deal. So I need your help with the people who are bringing on. So we'll do a 3-way chat with the newbie, that distributor, and myself. I kind of bird nest and hand that newbie on. And I'm really hands off now with newbies who don't need big leadership training just yet. They are QL. They know I love them, but you have both of our support. So that distributor is working more with that QL than I am, because I do have all these leaders now that are like, hey, Tracy, we need stuff. And it got overwhelming training newbies every step of the way and having leaders that are diamond wanting to go double, triple. So it kind of helps to balance everything out for me.
Good deal. Yeah, I really like those tips. That's awesome. Showing everybody that you don't have to be a rock star to be a leader. That's awesome. All right, guys. So we're going to move on to cruise excitement tips. So Carissa Fitzpatrick, are you on here?
Go something I feel like works for me as far as being real detailed with it and being strategic was looking at the point system. And the first thing I see was, okay, 100 points for loyal customers versus getting a distributor and then giving them the 4 loyals, I get more points from that. So my way around it was just basically help that loyal customer get to their 4. If it was with me helping them get there, then of course that will be 500 points for them getting their loyals, and then the 300 for them joining. So even if they didn't come into the business and have their auto ship on like I would basically tell them, then at least if they got their 150 points like someone just basically did, then they still would count for me. So that's the way I've been going about it, and it makes my points go a lot faster. And then helping them get to Ruby is basically pushing it beyond that. So the way I basically tell my team is enroll the distributor, get them to their 4 loyals, and then from there helping them do that and going and them to Ruby from there. So that's my basic way that I do it, and that's been working so far.
Good deal. Yeah, those are, I really like those. Those are great tips. Does anybody else have any other tips that you guys are using maybe on your team page or anything like that to just get everybody excited about the cruise? Anybody have any other tips?
Something I did, I was just completely honest with my team the last time we had the cruise. I am not a cruise person. I had gone on one previously and honestly hated every second of it. I'm like claustrophobic. I didn't like anything about it. So when I actually earned my way on there, it was because of my team, because some of my personally enrolled had gone Ruby, and of course that boosted me. And actually 14 people on my team earned their way on to the cruise. And so I was like, well, I have to go, you know, obviously. And now I did a thread about this on our team page. Every single one of them has promoted to double diamond or above since then, since they went on the cruise. One's presidential. So I just showed them all. I mean, I just wrote a post about it and just said, get on that cruise. Was the weather great? No. Was it something I really wanted to do? No. I mean, just being honest with them and letting them know that, but letting them know that the sense of being in a group of like-minded people constantly and not, you know, it wasn't all about it works. I mean, we had no seminars. We had nothing like that. But sitting in, watching the Iowa football game with Mark Pentecost sitting right next to us and eating pizza with him at 3 a.m., those are the things that are going to change your business. And so when all of those people, there were so many comments on the thread about really, like, they started out at Ruby, and by the time, you know, like now they're double diamond or above. That's incredible. So it really has ramped up, I think, the enthusiasm for it. I think that so many times people are like, oh, I have to move my loyal customers. No, you don't have to. Will it help you grow your business? In my mind, yes, I think that's what I would do, but it isn't necessarily what you have to do. This is what all these leaders did, and look where they got. So just showing them the possibilities, I think, is really important.
I can relate to that, Deb. I went on the cruise last year too, and I was so sick by the time I got off that boat. So when they announced the cruise, it was something where in my mind I was like, I don't really know if I want to go. But I'm like, you know what? I have to lead from the front. So if I'm not excited, then my team's not going to be excited. So I have to make sure that I'm talking it up and that I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to earn my spot. So I even had, you know, some people come to me and say, you know, I only have 1 week of vacation off because, you know, a lot of the people on my team, they still work a full-time job. You know, we have a lot that have been able to rewire with the business, but, you know, maybe they want to take that week vacation to spend time with their family or things like that. So that's where I've really, you know, done a call with them, or actually I did a Zoom about 2 weeks ago or a week ago and told them, you know, talked about the cruise and got the hype up for that. But I also showed them how going Ruby and enrolling these little customers, what it was going to do for their business and for their paychecks. And so that way, you know, we're not just talking about, oh, earn your spot on the cruise, but this is also going to help your paychecks. And I think sometimes they don't really see that. And sometimes they just see, oh, you know, we're going to earn our spot on the cruise. So just to make sure that they're still working for that, if that kind of makes sense. Does anybody else have any other cruise tips that's really getting their team pumped up, ready to go?
Just to kind of spin off of that, well, one thing, if you do, I would suggest if you're doing any contests on your team pages, to mirror them off the same point system that the cruise is, because I just feel like that's that added incentive. But it seems like you said, you know, or Deb said with loyal customers, what I told my team is, you know, okay, yeah, this cruise is incredible. It's awesome. It's fun. I went on it last year. I'll go on it again this year. But you didn't get into this business for a cruise. You got into this business for a paycheck. And you are going to make more money by moving your loyal customers and helping your team promote, which is going to increase your paycheck. And then, you know, you may end up being on this cruise as a top 150 income earner, you know, or like, I think it's crazy. I really, really pushed after Sunday night's call the fact that an executive is the #1 points earner on the entire, you know, it works, you know, whatever. So I think it's just really important to show, because so many people think that it's so out of reach. But I also remind them that no matter what, you're in this for your paycheck or whatever your why is. You didn't start the company for a cruise. So I think that it's helped a little bit we have a contest going that's just exact same point system. Brittany, we can't hear you.
Okay. So for my team right now, we're actually doing a mini iPad along with the cruise, and it is helping my team like crazy. So maybe for the ones that necessarily, you know, think they might not be able to take off work, or the ones that are like Deb and I and get sick, the iPad is helping them. And so, you know, they're excited, you know, so little incentives that, like Ashley said, that go along with the cruise points to earn, you know, to earn those same points as far as the iPad goes. It's helped our volume tremendously in our enrollment. So,
well, and I think you can also, those people that can't go because they can't take off work, or can't go because they're scared to go because they're sick or whatever. I think that it just being able to say to their social media and to their friends that they earned a spot, but for whatever reason, I'm so excited that I'm able to pass that spot on to somebody else, but I know that I earned that spot to be there, and now somebody else gets to enjoy it too. You know, like, turn it around to something positive, not like, I can't go because I still work a full-time job, or, you know, turn it around to something positive, but you still are showing people that you earned that spot, and so it's attainable.
Exactly right. So that way your Facebook friends or your, you know, whoever can say, oh my gosh, well, even though she can't go, she still earned that spot, and she was still, you know, working her business and getting customers and all that good stuff. So I love that. Anybody else have any more questions or any more comments before we move on?
To piggyback off of what Ashley said, if we're running a contest, like she said, that's based off of cruise points also, and they may not end up getting on the cruise. They may not have enough points to get on the cruise. But if they win this other contest because they pushed for those points, it's still a win in their books. So, and I feel like this business is all about mini wins and big wins, and it's such a mental hurdle, like, to hear, oh my gosh, already people have, you know, 10,000 points, and I only have 2,000 points. I'm never going to get on this cruise, but yet they may win our contest, which is also a trip, but they may win our contest, and that's still such a win and such a Facebook win, a social media win for them.
I know my team, we're also doing our leadership retreat kind of towards the beginning of the fall. So it's, of course, for us, it's diamonds and above, where I know some of you guys, it's like triples and doubles and stuff, but we're doing diamonds and above. So it's also right now, knowing that we have that leadership retreat in a couple of months, it's helping these people to work harder, because we've got some awesome stuff planned, dinner and a limo and the Biltmore House and all kinds of good stuff. So it's helping these people say, okay, I don't want to miss out on this fun time with the rest of our team. So we're really working our business to make sure that, you know, we can earn that spot on the cruise, we can possibly earn this free iPad, and we can also, you know, we want to make sure that we are, you know, at that diamond retreat, because, you know, they're going to kick themselves if they're not. So anybody else real quick?
We have at the pinned, the post that you can pin at the top of the page. We just started this a couple days ago, where I pinned cruise points. And so it's just an ongoing revolving feed where people can get on there and they can just, you know, cheer for each other and cheer on themselves for points that they've earned. It's a feed where they can share tips or scripts that are working very good for them to try to, they're using to sign loyal customers and distributors. And it's also a place too, because the cruise points is kind of constantly evolving. You know, Mark's always doubling or doing something different with it. It's a place where they can constantly see the last, like, up to minute information on the cruise as well. And so people are really responding to that well, because I feel like in group or team pages, things get buried so quickly. And so that's been really kind of fun for our team. We are also doing a leadership retreat and mirroring the points as well. But I was kind of feeling like, you know, where's the excitement for this cruise? We were on the cruise last year. Where's the team excitement? Where's the team excitement for this leadership retreat? And they have it. It was just, you know, it kind of was getting lost in everything. So we have that pinned post now, and it's a go-to, and it's just like, I don't know, I call it my cheerleading section, because that's what they're all doing, you know, and they're sharing these tips and they're learning from peers, and I think it's great.
Yeah, that's a great idea for sure. I like that. Okay, so Sarah had a question for Ashley. Ashley, okay, hold on a minute. Let's see. Okay, that's for Ashley. You can see that in the comments.
Yeah, we're doing the top 8 points earners, and then the top points earner, they'll get to bring their spouse if they have a spouse. And we opened it up to our entire team and mirrored exactly the cruise points. It's only a 1 month long. So it was just there was like some bonus points last month if you completed your steps to success. And then this month is exactly off of the cruise. So when they post cruise points on June 5th, we'll know who our winners are.
That's a good idea too. I like that. All right, guys, so we're going to move on to social media. We've got myself and Susan Wade and Patrice. I'm just going to start out with something that I personally did last night for my team. I know some of you guys might already do this. So what I did was I saw Lisa Fuller do it a couple of weeks ago. And when I saw her do it, I was like, oh my gosh, because you guys know how with social media now with the algorithms that it's so hard for so many of our prospects to see our posts. And so, you know, we feel like our posts are not being shown to everyone. So what I did last night is I posted it yesterday afternoon on our team page, and I made a graphic with some, you know, cool writing and my name on it, and just talked about going live about the business opportunity that's going to change their life at 8:00 p.m. And so then at 8:00 p.m., I posted that on my Facebook page all day. I got my team to post on their Facebook page. And then last night at 8:00, I got on there and I did an opportunity party live from my Facebook page. And I'll tell you what, it helped me and my team more than anything. We have signed so many distributors and have so many more that are supposed to be signing today just from doing that. And the reason that I really personally liked it, and I know, you know, I was kind of weird about going live at first, because I'm going to be the first to tell you I'm clumsy, I stutter. I just hate being live. At least with the video, I can, you know, take it 10 million times if I want to. So I got out of my comfort zone. I went live, and so the cool thing about that is I had people getting on that live Facebook feed that I never knew were watching me. Because you guys know, if you guys have built their social media like myself, is you have so many people out there that are watching you that you never ever even thought about, ever knew, because, you know, they just were stalking you. They did not like any of your posts. They did not comment on any of your posts. So going live on that feed last night helped me out more than anything, because I had people messaging me that I never even knew were watching me. So now they're, you know, on my 100th list. Now I'm following up with them, trying to get them signed before, you know, the BOGO ends. So if you can get out of your comfort zone, you can make a cool graphic real quick with just some cool writing, and you can really hype up that you're going to be showing them an opportunity that's going to change their life. I really think that would help to get some of these prospects that you don't know are watching you to maybe come forward. And so let's see, Britt said yes. So my team, what they did was they tagged people to my Facebook page. Okay. So what they did was they tagged them under the live feed. And so then what they did was, after that, they messaged people throughout the day, letting them know we were going to be doing that. And then they also followed up with those people to see if they were able to get on. And so it helped. Like I said, it's one of those things where I'm actually going to start doing it weekly because it helps so much. So like I said, we did the opportunity last night, and Sunday we're going to do one on the entire party pad. But it's just one of those things, because when we get newbies in the business, sometimes they're not maybe as confident as a presidential diamond or a triple diamond. So then being able to hear it from us, the leaders of our teams, then being able to hear that, you know, I know for my team, it helped to be able to sway those people from saying no or I don't know to saying yes, because they heard my story and they heard, you know, how we're going to be there to coach them and that type thing. And so I even had people from other teams that messaged me and said, I really appreciate you doing that. And I was just excited because, you know, I was able to help other team members or people that weren't on my team be able to, you know, sign people for Washington as well. So that's just a little tip I wanted to throw out there as far as social media. Let's see, Patrice, do you want to, I know you're an Instagram queen, so do you want to give us some Instagram tips?
Sure. Well, Instagram, same thing, owned by Facebook. It's changing, so you have to be cognizant about what you're posting and your engagement. So my tip is very similar to yours, Brittany. Videos changed our business altogether. We did a training on social media about a year ago, and they were like, hey, FYI, videos are everything. So my techie tip for those of you guys who are techie, I actually will download videos that are going viral and upload them to my page. A lot of times if they're like on a news station or like America's Funniest Home Videos, they're up for grabs. So I don't, you know, take people's personal kids, but stuff that has gone viral that's kind of like the norm. And you can actually help your own page go viral that way. And that's helped my engagement because Facebook knows I'm getting comments, I'm getting shares, I'm getting likes. The website is downvids.net. And you can do that. Just take the URL, plug it in. Super techie tip, but that just helps my page keep the engagement that I'm used to, because a lot of people will comment from a friend's friend, and that's really where my business grows on Facebook. But on Instagram, I do the same thing. I'll actually type it out for you guys. Downvids.net. And I'll take a Facebook URL. It only takes Facebook URLs, but that helps me on Instagram. So I actually will do the same thing on Instagram. Once or twice a week, I'll do something where I upload a funny video. People will tag their friends. I go follow their friends. So it just gives me a fun way to have that engagement up, keep my followers interested. I know the algorithms with Instagram are always kind of funky and changing. Instagram for me, I really do mirror the same Facebook techniques, but what I teach my team to do is follow, of course, the peak time. So people kind of use Facebook all day, but Instagram is one of those funky things that people kind of check it when they're bored. So I tell my team kind of when to post. 8 a.m., noon, of course we know those things. 5 p.m. is really popular for me on Instagram when people get off work, and anytime after 10 p.m. So I may be a little more flexible, kind of morning, noon, night on Facebook. But those times, I noticed that if I posted 9 a.m. on Instagram, me personally, my engagement's a lot different. So I kind of watch Instagram a little bit more than I do with my Facebook. And I just have fun with them both. They're both personality based platforms. A lot of people freak out because Instagram looks so different. So my last tip is going to be the same way we use Facebook groups, I use Instagram pages. So I looked for local radio stations that I knew would be full of people in my area. When I'm from Baltimore, I said, I'm going to rep the whole city of Baltimore. So I really tapped into radio stations and local boutiques and hair salons. And that's how I built my business to lead into parties, which I'll give some tips on later today. But I really do use social media as a funnel to get in-person appointments. So I have 2 rep appointments today from Instagram. People who were like, oh, you're doing this BOGO thing, or I follow back up with them, but most of my business still kind of comes from Instagram. And it's because I do have a local focus from day to day. I'll change it up, but I still do want to make sure I'm staying local so I can get my hands on people and get the rap on people. So just some random tips there, but just some things that have helped me across the board. Oh, wait, you're on mute.
There we go. All right. Yeah, I love that. That's Downvids. That's pretty awesome. I had never heard of that. That's cool.
Techie tip.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, so Susan Wade, are you on here? I don't know if she was able to get on. Susan, are you on? Okay. Does anybody have anybody in here, a Facebook guru or Instagram that has any awesome tips they want to share as far as social media goes? Lacey,
Hey, I cannot show my face because I look absolutely wretched. But one of the things that I've never actually been on Instagram too much, but I've gained so many followers lately and getting a lot of interest. I've probably had a dry spell. I'm not a huge loyal recruiter. I can sign DTs pretty good. But last month I signed 12 loyal customers, and I honestly believe it was all from hashtags. So my husband has recently grown a beard, and he's been using the hair, skin, and nails. And I'm literally just using any hashtag that I can. Beard envy, anything like that. But then also when I post something like of maybe my kids or something like that, stay-at-home mom, or I did one yesterday. I don't remember what it was. I got something for free, and I put hashtag free, and then I put hashtag gimme gimme. And I got like 15 followers just from that. So the hashtags have really, really been helping me get those followers and have people comment on stuff. So I just wanted to share that.
Ask you this real quick. How many hashtags do you do? Like, I've heard some people say, you know, only do 10 hashtags, and then I've heard some people say do like 30. Do you have a specific amount that you do?
I do like 3. So maybe I need to step my game up.
Good deal. All right. Anybody else have any more social media tips they want to share?
Basically, what helps me with social media is I always try to keep my page engaged, and that's with motivational quotes and lifestyle posts. It's not just ads only, but those things help out a lot because it keeps your page people then come back to your page not only just for the different pictures you post of the before and afters, but also at the same time for seeing the other things that you post. So that's one thing. And then what helps me with getting a lot of customers is through product testers, or saying that I only have a couple of maybe only need 3 more people or 2 more people, and do a countdown. That helps out. And yeah, my page is private just because of a lot of different things that go on through poaching and things like that. And everyone just follows to come in. So that helps me out too with decreasing that issue. But I get a lot of my followers through that method, and through customers through that method.
That's a good idea. I like that. Okay, so Chelsea asked, what do you ladies think of private or public profile on Instagram? Patrice, do you, I know you're great at Instagram. Do you keep your Instagram private or public?
I'm public. For me, it's more of the business mentality. I completely, either way works. I have some girls that are private, but for me, I'm a business, so I don't ever want someone to be like, well, I don't know who she is, I don't want to follow her. I want people to be attracted to my page, and especially because I'm big on engagement. So if I'm private, I can't do my engagement videos and stuff. If you're tagging your friends, they're not going to see my post. So for me and how I function, where I try to post funny stuff, engaging, I'll post me drinking the greens, and people will post or tag their friends and be like, look at what's in the greens, So I really want to encourage that culture of people bringing their friends on board, being excited about a page. So for me personally, public works. My husband, on the other hand, we're both separate, we're both presidential. So he does his own thing. He has a private page sometimes. He kind of switches out, but he does it because he greets every follower. So for him, it's not so much the concept of the engagement thing, but he is more of a one-on-one, hey, let's be friends type of person. So when he gets the followers, he sees private, so when they come in, he can see, Angel Girl just followed me, let me say, hey, welcome to my page. And he doesn't have any business convos. It's just, hey, what's up, thanks for following me, do you have Snapchat? Because he loves Snapchat. So it's a whole other world, right? And that we're growing into. So Snapchat for us is our project. We know that's where people's attention is kind of shifting to. So we've been floating there. So he's using his Instagram as a filter to get new Snapchat friends, and they can follow his journey because he's not super Facebook chatty or Instagram chatty, but he does well on video. So if you're an introvert or you're just a red that hates typing out words, he's both. Snapchat's a really good venue to really showcase who you are, your lifestyle. So he's gotten a rap appointment or two from Snapchat. He does great with that. So that's his technique, and that's his reason for being private. My reason for being public is, I'm an open business. I want everyone to feel like they can come and see the before and afters, the lifestyle, things like that. And then we just roll with the engagement piece. So that's the argument for both.
I like those explanation. All right, so
can I talk about the public and private? Stillian.
Yeah. Shoot.
So I was private, and I noticed when I was private, it was a lot more work for me to have to go approve people, but I was way more personal. I would go like and comment on their stuff. But I noticed when I went public, I wasn't as personal, but I got more followers. So it was a lot easier on me, and now I'm public at night. Like sometimes I'll go private, just switch it back and forth. But on our team, we've been using, it's called Instagress. I don't know if you've heard of it. I don't know who's heard of it, but it'll help follow people for you and unfollow people. There's an option where they can comment, like pictures for you. You can put what hashtags, like it'll look up hashtags for you and go like and comment or follow those people. There's like a 3-day thing that you guys can do for free, but I pay like $10 a month, and it's so worth it. I think Carrie Bauer talked about it on one of her Periscopes, but just in the last week, I've got 500 new followers, and that wasn't me doing a lot of the work. I was putting so much time into it before. So it makes life a lot easier, and I have a ton of engagement from Instagress. So I would definitely look into that if you guys haven't.
We have a question. When you're public, do you block other DTs not on your team?
So I don't know, I guess it depends on the profile, but if I notice that it works, yeah, I will. But I have so many people following me now because the Instagress that it's just so overwhelming to go to all their profiles, if I'm not sitting there. So I don't really focus too much on that.
Yeah, I personally, for my Instagram now, I'm not amazing at Instagram. I do sign people from there occasionally, but I do personally block other DTs just because I feel like for me, when I'm scrolling through and I'm trying to create those relationships, I feel like a lot of times, kind of like on Facebook sometimes, which is why I unfollow on there too. I feel like my news feed it's constant distributors, and I'm seeing stuff about greens and wraps and BOGO and all that. So that's why I block those. So then I don't see those posts. And so then there's not any potential for poaching as well. And that app is Instagress.com. And I've used it myself. It's really, really great for, taking out those spam accounts, that type thing. Okay. So, let me see here. We're going to move on to income producing activities. Corin, are you still on here? I know you said you had to go to your appointment. Okay. She must have had to get off. Okay. Does anybody want to talk a little bit about income producing activities? Anybody want to touch base on that? Anybody? Dang, come on, guys. I know we got some top earners on here that can talk about income producing activities. Come on now. No?
Hey, guys. This is Corinne Burnson.
Oh, awesome.
Hey, I just got up from the salon chair. Thank you. All right, I'm going to give you guys some good income producing activities. We talked about this the other day because I think a lot of my team, after I went presidential, kind of fell into management mode. And so I've got some things here I wrote down, and we went over this the other day. So everybody was just really focused on doing these things. All right. So number one thing that I think sometimes people forget about is getting the rap on somebody. So I love this one. Obviously, I think we all know why. But I think we get kind of stuck behind the computer screen sometimes, and we forget we can just go out there and get that rap on somebody, whether it be we carry our purse with us and that little rap bag, we can do it anywhere, anytime, and I love the freedom to do that. So blitzing and getting contact information. So getting that contact information so the ball's in our court, not always relying on the fact that they would call us. I don't think I've ever really had too many people contact me for a blitz card. So follow-ups. I mean, follow-up Friday, following up all week, just making sure we're constantly getting in contact with people and new people. So another one is messaging people and adding new friends online. So that's another really good one there. One-on-ones and wrap parties. I actually grew most of my business just through Facebook and one-on-ones. So I really encourage that. I love that when we do get one-on-one, we get to build a rapport and a relationship with somebody. And I think that face-to-face, that belly-to-belly really helps us to build that relationship immediately and get to know what their needs are so we can match their needs and really make sure that we're coaching them through those fears, because I know that I've struggled a lot with getting people signed up who just want to text. Like, so many people just want to text. They don't want to meet with me face to face, even if they're local. I don't know if they're intimidated or what it is, but I just have a really hard time getting them off the ground. I feel like I'm out of breath. I've had a cold and we've been packing, moving, and I ran in here. So, all right. Online parties. Online parties. We've been doing these very consistently, and it's crazy how awesome, like, how big they've gotten. These online parties, I really think, like, we're using a third-party tool, so we're not becoming the expert. And I think when people get in there, they see other people's stories and really be able to relate to even other people that they may not relate to me. But if I've invited them into an online party and they're saying, oh, so-and-so uses this product too, and, you know, they have a similar symptom as me. So I like that when we get people into online parties, we've had a huge sign-up rate, an extra sign-up rate. So Katie's going to share about online parties after me. And then events, finding events. So getting on Google, asking local friends and family, you know, if you know somebody who owns a salon, being able to set up, you know, maybe a table at some point, asking to do this because you're getting yourself in front of people, aka, you know, you're creating an income because it's a income producing activity. All right. And building relationships, following up with your loyal customers. This is something I've really focused on a lot more now. Is my loyal customers are some of my best distributors. So the more I'm really focusing on making sure that we're meeting their needs through that loyal customer program and the products, I think then my attention to them, they're seeing that they can do this too. And I love that that's been able to be a huge, huge thing that, yeah, we'll do the same thing. Yeah, that sounds good. She's so patient. I love her. And then, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, my LCs, following up with LCs and creating that relationship. Wrap yourself and share your own wrap results. There's such a big difference between sharing before and after pictures all day long of somebody else, but once you get yourself out there, people like respond so much more, and that creates more income. That's okay. Okay, yeah, whatever we did last time is fine. And two more things. Talking to everyone, making sure you're always, always, always talking to everyone. If your mouth is open, your business is open. The minute that you are keeping your mouth shut, you have gone in to pay for your gas, and you have not handed them a Blitz card, you missed out on one of the biggest IPAs that we could do. So blitzing. And helping your team with IPAs. We do something that's called a seal the deal meeting, and this is like the most fun thing that we do. I really feel like once we get around each other, we feed off each other's energy. We'll be like, the first person to book a wrap appointment, you know, like they get to put, they win this, or we do a tally system. So being able to do a seal the deal meeting, encouraging each other, and then we're sending out messages and follow-ups. So IPAs is income producing activities. I just got a little text down there. I might have missed that part. So which means generating new customers and distributors and business building. So, all right, I think I got through my little list here. I'm sorry I had to blow through it. Thank you guys. This has been so awesome. Learning so much from you all too.
Thanks for sharing your tips.
Absolutely.
One more thing real quick, Zoom parties. I know some of you guys probably do Zoom parties. I love Zoom parties. And then like I talked about just a little bit ago, even the online live parties are amazing because people are actually hearing from you rather than thinking you're a robot. So Zoom parties and online, those live Facebook parties are awesome too. Katie, did you want to talk a little bit about online wrap parties?
I would love to. My team and I do this multiple times a month. I started this back last summer after I had hit triple and I was trying to go prez. I know, well, we had always done online wrap parties or works parties when we talked about products. And we had been doing that for about 2 years. We did that when Sarah was going ambassador. And then I don't know where, I mean, I didn't get this idea from somewhere. I know other people do it, but I was like, what if we did an online party, but it was just for the business? And so I came up with this like format and I change it every single time. But my team and I now do, I would say we got into it where we were doing it like 4 times a month, and then we were like, that's too much, because if somebody gets invited to something like that every week, they're going to be like, oh, they do that all the time. So now we're just trying to do it twice a month, but it's an online income opportunity. And I call it something different every time. Sometimes I call it work from home. Sometimes I call it work from home opportunity. Sometimes I call it income opportunity, business opportunity. Sometimes I try to stay away from calling it business opportunity, but I try to change it up every single time. We've done make healthier wealth. So we try to change up what we call it. Like this week I'm calling it work from home opportunity. And I make a cute little picture every single time. I always try to make it look different, but really it's the same thing. So I keep it private. I used to do them public, and that's awesome because like if somebody is going to it, then any of their friends can see it. However, you know, as we all know, you know, we're triples and above. Our stuff has been shared so many times. We have so many distributors that are following us that are not on our teams. So I strictly do mine private now. But what I do is I put it out to my whole team. I make all of my diamonds and above the hosts. So that means like if somebody's computer freezes or if I make a typo or anything happens, they can help out, you know, in editing and answering questions and whatnot. But we pick a day. I like Mondays or Tuesdays. We've tried Wednesdays, we've tried Thursdays, but I found we get better attendance if we do it on Mondays or Tuesday nights. I'm Eastern time, so we usually do it at 8:30. I try to keep it to an hour. Now that I add lots of stories in it, it doesn't always stay to an hour. When I first started, it was like boom, 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 make the post, done in an hour. So what I can do is like, I guess I can kind of go back and show you one of mine or kind of tell you. So what I do is I do a check-in post. So I say check in with the distributor that invited you, just like you would on an online party, but we do not talk about products at all. When we first started doing this, I would make one post that would say, you know, It Works is natural health and wellness. We're home to the Ultimate Body Applicator. We have 4 different product lines, and I would throw that in there. But after a while, we were like, you know what? They're here for the business. They know what this product is. We're going to talk about money, and it gave us a chance to take the products out. So I used to, I mean, I guess you could put in there like what It Works is in general, or maybe a new product. But so I do a check-in post. I say, you know, I'd like to introduce myself, and I tell my story like in full. And I post 2 pictures of myself. I post a selfie, and then I post, like, I'm not married, I don't have any kids. So my pride and joy is my car, because that was why I got started in this business. So I post a selfie, and then I post a picture of me with my car and, you know, my Good Life t-shirt. And then I'll say, number 3 is a history of the company. I'd like to give you guys a brief rundown of the company. And I literally take what is on our corporate website, but I shortened it. Like 2001, this happened. 2005, Dr. Don, was introduced. And then I just kind of go down like a one-liner for every year. And I post, I had gone to Mark's Facebook page, and I just saved a bunch of, fun pictures of him and Cindy just being real people, and I upload their picture with that post, or sometimes I put the nice corporate office. And then I'll do number 4. I'll throw it off right off the bat. While you're here to make money, this is their average income chart for distributors. Whether you're trying to make a couple $100s a month, these are real numbers. This is where I'm at, and this is how long I've been in distributors. Feel free to comment with your rank, how long you've been in the business, and your previous or current occupation. So then people can see, I'm a Ruby, I've been in for this month, I'm a Diamond, I just started, I'm so excited. So the potentials are seeing all the different ranks. And then number 5, I'll go to a story. I will pick stories from my Diamonds and above, and then I'll pick a Ruby story and an Emerald story. So I'll start off with a double Diamond story, and I'll post I'll have them send me their story. I read it over, and obviously, now at the point where I've done this so many times, I've got these stories stacked, so I just pick a few and I, decide which ones I want to post. I try to switch it up, so I don't have kids in a family, so I'll try to, the next story I put in there is going to be my double Diamond that has 2 kids that's married, and I'll post a couple pictures of her with her family and whatever, and then we'll go into the steps to success. I used to do the steps to success as on one post. I was invited last year to a one that Alyssa Bilyeu did, so I kind of try to switch it up every time. So now I do step 1, step 2, step 3 are 3 different posts. And I just kind of break everything down. I'm going to try to go to one of my past events so I can kind of tell you how we did this. But every single time we do this, I get inboxes from distributors on my team, whether they are new or not, and say, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I just signed X amount of new team members for this. So I'll go to my last one and I'll kind of show you. And I make sure to leave it open. Afterwards, I make sure to leave it open. If Facebook now is only letting me move it out 2 weeks, they don't, if I do it at the beginning of the month, they don't let me move it out to the end of the month, the end date, so I move it out as far as I can. So I do step 1, step 2, step 3. I make sure to make a post saying, it's residual income. We do not carry stock or inventory. We make money 3 ways. I make sure to say that you can become a retail customer, a loyal customer, or a distributor. I never used to put that in there, but like I said, I change this up all the time because I know a lot of the same potential distributors are being invited to this, every few weeks or whatever. So I want to try to make it look different. So I will do, step 1 is I'll do a picture of the business builder kit and something that says step 1. And then step 2, I put step 2 and I do the picture of the 4 loyal customers. And then step 3, I do, a picture of the Go Ruby. Then the next one, I'll do another story. Maybe I do this specific one. I did a Diamond and I just did, a picture of her. I recently added in there, you're probably wondering what we're looking for as it works distributors, and just kind of talking about, that you can be anybody. I recently talked about what we do as it works distributors, because I know sometimes people are like, well, what do they do? Because I don't know about you guys, but when I was a loyal customer for 2.5 years before I joined, and I literally thought Sarah drove around the city of Toledo and just sold wraps all day. So I don't think people realize what it is that we do. So I list it out. We make friends, we network, we talk about our products, we get on the phone. So I kind of list some things that we do. I throw out there the Ruby bonus. I talk about, I do I Love It Works Paydays picture, and I do, talk about the fast start bonuses. Then I throw in another story. So I throw in about 5 stories. I like to throw in a Ruby story because when we're talking about the Ruby bonus, I like to throw somebody in there that earned that Ruby bonus. But when I talk, I kind of go back and forth with the stories. Somebody that doesn't have kids, somebody that does have kids. Somebody that doesn't have kids, somebody that does have kids. Because when I first joined, I got on an opportunity call, and there were 6 women that had kids, and I couldn't relate to any of it. So I want to make sure that I'm going back and forth and relating. And then I talk about how this isn't just a business, it's a way of life. We're all about friendships, fun, and freedom. And what I used to do was take, like, you know, when you upload 5 pictures, it puts it into a collage for you. What I did was I picked like a fun, like Pitbull song or whatever, like that Time of My Life song. And I got all fun pictures of my team at events and doing fun stuff. And I posted up like a little YouTube video so they can see, like, we're fun. This is about adventure. And then I talk about, you know, just this thing says that 3 C's of life: choices, changes, or chances. You know, you have to make a choice to make a change, or chance, or your life will never change, or whatever. Just talking about how, like, we all had to, like, take that leap of faith. Then I, you know, throw in there the cruise, all caps, so excited. You know, I got on this cruise last year. Anybody can do it. And then I asked them to ask a question. In previous ones, like I said, we change it up literally every single time. So sometimes we'll be like, we're going to give away a week's worth of WOW for anybody that asks a question about the business. We've done like a free wrap, but I really don't feel like somebody's interested in the business. They're not here for a free wrap. So it just depends. Like, we do one at the beginning of the month and one at the end, and I leave it open. So as people are having more potentials, they can invite them and they say, hey girl, you know, here's the party to start from the bottom and whatever. But I find this is so helpful. And like for the location, I say anywhere you have access to Facebook, or right here on Facebook. Like this specific one, I named it Find Out How It Works. I mean, I name it something different every time, but we do it consistently. At the beginning of the month, my leaders will say, when are we doing our next income opportunity party? And so I kind of leave it open for 2 weeks, and then I'll do a new one. So I'm always sharing news stories, and it gives you a chance to highlight the people on your team and be like, hey girl, I really love your story. Would you mind sending it to me? I would love to share it on the income opportunity next week. And they're like, oh my God, me? Really? You want my story? And they feel so special. So like these, I've been doing these I started last August. And even if I don't sign any distributors from it, and when I first started, I would sign one distributor at least every single time I did it when it was public. Now I'm a little too afraid to do it public. But my team signs distributors every single time because they just get it inside of the business. I have tried to do a live party. I did it over at my mom's house because she has like this whole like sample party setup. I don't know if it was because I had good service, but my live video got cut off 5 times and I ended up having to go to Zoom. So I'm a little weary about doing live from the Facebook event, but we have talked about it. But I have seriously found that this does amazing things for my team. Amazing things. I mean, we even got away from doing regular products. And when we do, I will say this, when we do like an It Works like product party or sample party, I kind of get away from calling them wrap parties because some people don't give a crap about the wrap and they really want to know what else we have. I always do a giveaway when we do products. And now my boyfriend that's a double actually started this and the whole team kind of just like accepted it. So it's pretty funny where it came from. But everybody does one post. I say, hey guys, hey, you know, leaders, we're doing an online sample party. Who wants to do what? Somebody over here says, I'll do energy and hair, skin, nails. I'll do business. I'll do wraps. And so it gives everybody a chance to get involved and to give them some responsibility and for us all to participate together. So one person isn't like post, and everybody's answering questions. So we all of us get involved every single time.
Perfect. All right. That was awesome. So that actually leads us into wrap parties. Does anybody, I know, let's see here. Barbie Campbell, are you on, Barbie? Barbie, are you on? Okay. Let's see here. Chelsea Kilmer or Cindy Ryan, wrap parties. I see you right there.
I'm here, but I'm not a wrap party expert. I've only had one in the past 2 years that I've done. So.
Let's see here. Cindy Ryan.
I am on.
Perfect.
Hi. Okay. Before I talk about wrap parties, I'll just give you a quick background on my business. I was Ruby quickly, so was my husband, and we were really happy with that income. We weren't looking for a business. And then he was part of the downsizing. He was earning 6 figures. He was the main source of income, and I panicked. I looked at my wrap bag and I'm like, holy crap, I've got 40 wraps in here, because back then, as soon as I earned a wrap reward, I would cash it in. I was still pretty new. So I looked and I'm like, well, that's half of my mortgage payment. If I can get these on people, I'm going to be able to pay half the mortgage. I'm not going to have to pull from his retirement account just yet. So I found the fire in me, and I sat down with my calendar and I started reaching out to friends. Nobody knew he was out of work except for my closest friends, but I was reaching out to people asking, hey, I know you asked about the wraps before, but I am trying to go for a huge bonus right now, or a huge promotion. I forget how I worded it, but I asked them directly, would you do me a favor? And they're like, sure, what? And I said, would you be able to get 4 to 5 friends together for a small wrap party? You'll be wrapped for free. They pay $25 each. They're over real quick, an hour, hour and a half. I'm in and out, and the only thing you need is bottled water. So because I asked people directly, they were like, sure, let me see what day I can get together. My biggest tip for booking those parties was giving them a couple dates. I was like, all right, well, will this day or this day or this day work for you? I have these days open. Instead of leaving it like, okay, I'll look at my calendar, I'll talk to some friends, and I'll get back to you. But when you offer them a couple dates and a couple options that work, you're much better at closing it. The other thing that I really think helped back then, I would tell people, if you booked a party by such and such a date, I'll give you a second wrap free, a bonus wrap free, as long as you have that certain number of people. Once you give them something, some reason to create that sense of urgency, it really helps get the parties booked. So I looked at my wrap bag, I had those 40 wraps, and I was excited. I was going to turn that into my mortgage payment, or half of my mortgage payment. And before I knew it, I had to order more. I wrapped so many people that month. I enrolled 26 loyal customers. I brought in $1,925 in wrap cash in 1 month, just from doing these small parties. There was only one party that had more than 6 people at it. And that one, I only signed 1 loyal customer. So I walked away with a lot of cash, but because there were so many people, I didn't get that same connection. So my recommendation with wrap parties is always smaller parties. You end up with more orders and more loyal customers when you connect with the people one-on-one. So let me just backtrack a little bit. When I first started, everybody was pushing wrap parties, and I think things have turned over the last couple of years with so many leaders promoting solely with social media. I think a lot of people have lost the value of the wrap party, the in-person wrapping, getting people together in a group. There are so many reasons why wrap parties will create more volume, will get people to promote faster, because you're getting in front of people and they're feeling your excitement. You're meeting new people that you didn't know. I've had people say, oh, well, my friends all have the same friends. I don't know, I wouldn't be meeting anybody new. But that's not true. They have coworkers that you don't know. They have aunts and cousins that you don't know. So use your immediate network to expand your network. Get in front of those new people. Launch a new distributor. When they start posting on social media, they get people interested and they'll start conversations, but they're still new and they may not be able to close it well. Instead of you placing loyal customers onto them and helping them get their fast start bonus, your fast start bonus, and get their product credit, try to use their own network to get those first 4. So doing a launch party with them, not only is it helping train them and having them learn about the products, because they don't know every product that we offer, and it's hard to just say, here, go to eSuite and learn this, or use Product Coach. When they hear you talk to those potentials, they learn how to have those same conversations themselves. So you're training them and you're helping them close the sale at the same time. They get that first win, that feeling of accomplishment from being able to sign their own friends instead of you just placing people under them. A lot of times we have our loyal customers and we know they're much more valuable putting them under somebody to get our fast start or our cab or help them promote, which helps us promote. But we forget about that first win and that first loyal customer that you signed on your own, how that made you feel like you accomplished something. We take that away from them a lot by over helping them. Let me see, I did have some notes here. You know, I'm talking really fast because I get nervous. I talked about booking, meeting new people. Oh, the best people to have a party for you are your existing loyal customers. They already found a product that they like. They get excited and they invite more people. And when you ask somebody that's never tried the wrap, hey, would you have a party for me? And they agree to help you, they don't have that same level of excitement when they're inviting their guests. They don't know what it's like. It's like, oh, hey, would you come over and try this with me? But when you have somebody who's already wrapped or already loves the greens or has lost weight using ThermoFit, when they invite their friends, they're saying, hey, I've used this. I love it. Wait till you see my results, or wait till you see it work on you. They get more people there, and those people already come excited knowing a little bit about a couple of the products. So I have to say probably my best parties were always from people that have already tried the product. And a lot of times that loyal customer that does host a party for you will take that next step and become a distributor at that party when they see how many of their friends are going to be interested in the products and try them out with you. One last tip about parties and why I love them so much, the orders are always bigger. And it's not because of sales pressure, but it's because you really connect with the people. The reason I like smaller parties is because sometimes you end up sitting around their dining room table and you find out that this person really isn't interested in the wraps, but they could benefit from 3 other products, Confianza. Like a lot of people don't post about those products. We don't reach as many people, but when you get somebody interested in a supplement, they're going to be a loyal customer for a lot longer than somebody who's just using the wraps. I notice on my team, any of the distributors that are solely social media, they'll sell wraps and occasionally add another product on, but I always know when somebody had a party because there's a big mixture of products on those orders. I have a girl that went Ruby in one night because of a party. I kept looking at eSuite and I'm like, wow, she enrolled another one. And these were big orders, 160, 170, 180 DV orders, and it was all from a party. And her leg has taken off so quickly because she launches for people. And she's seen the power of parties and they've caught it. She's had more people go Ruby and earn the bonus for their spouses at the same time than any other leg in my business. And it's because they party.
Yeah, I love those. Those are awesome tips. Thank you, Cindy.
You're welcome.
Does anybody else have any other tips on wrap parties? I know Patrice said maybe she had a couple. Patrice, you want to talk a little bit about wrap parties for just a second?
Sure. So wrap parties for me, I actually forgot my tip that fast. I was taking notes. Thank you, Cindy. So for me, my tip was more so how to book them. I think people kind of know, like, it would be the awesome call, by the way, yesterday with Kimmy Dempsey with It Works. So that call altogether, if you guys haven't heard it, didn't catch the Zoom, like, that was phenomenal. So I don't want to overdo those tips because they were just awesome in terms of start to finish, what they say, their tips. But I do have a bunch of people ask, like, how do you book them? So for me, it is social media. So one of my tricks to booking and transforming, to kind of tie in what Cindy was saying, people are losing the art of actually being in person. They don't know how to do that. And they're like, well, do I walk up to people and ask for a party? So I am a talkative introvert. And by the way, April, it was recorded. Kenny promised it would be uploaded really soon, but I haven't gone looking for it. So I don't know where it is just yet. But in terms of booking parties, one of my tips is I have people text me on social media if I'm like, oh, hey, like, if you want to learn more, text wrap to, 443XYZ. And when they text my number, when I get that plethora of people who will text to get information, but then I can see which area codes match my area, or if I'm going to be somewhere soon. So if I'm in, Baltimore, we're 410443. If I see that area code, when someone texts me, I kind of keep them in mind as a local list. So when I have a party I'm planning, like we had a Mother's Day party earlier this month, I can go back and focus on those people to invite them to something in person. Or I can say, hey, like, I'm having, I have a couple free wraps. I'm looking for some people to wrap this week. And they're like, well, what do I have to do? Well, if you have 2 or 3 friends even that would like to come over and watch, the process or try some samples or XYZ. So I kind of use social media as a way in which to book the parties and know who's local. So that's like, my main tip. If you guys are struggling to find the people who will do it, and it doesn't always have to be they book a party. We just have like social events. People like to just go out, and I had so many people who would have had a party, but they're like, but I don't think my friends are going to come. So I kind of gather all those people and just have them come to something themed. So we're coming up on Memorial Day. We're going to have something going on this week just for people to get skinny before Memorial Day and just to get them in person, same experience, same results with that. So quick tip, I didn't have a bunch because, again, I didn't want to overdo. They did phenomenal with the parties on that Zoom. So I think they get uploaded to the It Works YouTube channel when they're all done. Both Zooms, actually, if you guys didn't check those out, both Zooms were really good. Both the one that Denise did and Cammie did. So there we are.
Perfect. Thanks, Patrice.
Sure.
So guys, we've got one thing left. We're going to talk about team pages for a minute. I know feels like we've been on here forever, longer than I really expected, but that's awesome because we're getting some good tips. So team pages, Barbie Campbell and Carrie Gabriel, do you guys have any tips on team pages, maybe what you guys do on your team pages that keep your team inspired, that keep them excited, that keep them working? You guys have any tips as far as that goes? Anybody that has, or I'm not sure if they're on there. I know we had probably about 20 something people get off, but does anybody have any tips for, as far as team pages that really work for you guys?
I'll share one real quick.
Okay.
We recently created a new group for our new distributors to have those brand new distributors go into that group so we could repeat the very basic beginning stuff over and over. But so they're not seeing the higher level questions, because we realized that we had so many people getting overwhelmed thinking, oh my gosh, I need to know all this stuff. I don't know all that. I can't get started. And we had people get overwhelmed seeing people promote really fast, thinking that that was expected of them too. So this has actually been really working really, really well. We have some like basic training videos in there, like quick 1-minute videos showing this is how you create a support ticket. This is how you enroll a loyal customer through eSuite. Just very basic things, but it's gone over really well because it's kind of like a safe place. They don't see anybody come in and complain, or it's just very sheltered, and it's not a lot of extra work. It's 1 extra post a day for us. That's really, really been working well.
I love that. That's an awesome tip. I like that a lot. Creating a different page. Let's see, Sarah, you had a tip as far as team pages goes?
I do. Something that I started doing probably like a year ago or so, maybe a little bit more than that, is I started doing shout outs every single day. I actually had my husband do them because I wanted my team to see that I was working and enrolling people too, but I didn't want to make it look like I was bragging. And so I made my husband, I would like literally just hand feed him the list and be sitting right next to him, and having him tag everybody. And sometimes he posted pictures that weren't like super appropriate, but the team actually loved it. It was fine. It was just like a daily shout out, anyone who enrolled a customer or distributor, and he would just like put the list up there, and it really fired people up and made people who weren't on that list on that list. And I mean, there's been times where, we missed a couple days or whatever, but we would always catch up. And my team just loves it. Like, if I did miss a couple days, I would have people messaging me like, hey, why didn't I get a shout out? Because they had been working hard for it, and then they finally signed somebody. And, we had slacked for a day or whatever. So that's something that has really helped fire my team up for sure.
We do shout outs and stuff on my team page too, as far as, enrolling little customers. Normally how we do it is like like with the layer leadership, the diamond and above leader will announce theirs for that day. And then, Sideline and myself and everybody will go and say, oh my gosh, congratulations, way to go, blah, blah, blah. But I know it's really helped because it feels like us leaders that have so many people underneath us are still acknowledging them and still saying, hey, way to go, man. You've had an awesome month. Like, I think my team had 4 or 5 people that earned their 10 little customers for the cruise. So it was one of those things, we were shouting those people out, and even the people that, that didn't do that, we were still trying to shout those out and make those people feel like, they were still doing just as awesome of a job as even the people that, were just massive enrollers. So anybody else have any things as far as team pages, maybe what you post every day on your team page? I know we personally do, tips that I'll see from top leaders. We'll do that. I like to go to YouTube and get motivational videos. My husband is obsessed with Rocky. So like he loves watching, videos like that. So I'll post different things like that about motivation, but YouTube has some great videos. I'm sure you guys have seen those. I personally love the challenges. So we'll do a swag bag, like with the cruise points, you could do something like that. So swag bag will just be something that I make. And if, whoever enrolls the most little customers, whoever completes their steps to success so many times, I'll throw a whole bunch of stuff in a cool, like black, green, and bling bag, whether it be product, shirts, blitz cards, like bling jewelry, like little things like that. And my team just gets really excited about that kind of stuff because it's different. So I've done a couple of those things and it really worked. Also, I'm sure you guys keep like a ton of files and stuff on your team page, how to start new DTs as far as, what they need to be posting on Facebook. I've got a really awesome template that I think it was Rachel Jones sent me, and it goes talking about the hair, skin, and nails challenge and like all kinds of really cool stuff. But that's helped my team tremendously. So I've also got some videos on there. If you have let's say you have a day that you're a little discouraged, go watch this video. So different things like that's really helped my team. So does anybody else have any other tips as far as team pages go? All right, so one more thing. Does anybody want to touch base on sacrificing? Yes, April, I can share that template as well. Does anybody want to talk about sacrificing? I know, I'm sure you guys, we all have people that feel bad for maybe sacrificing family time here and there, or having to, or, going to It Works Shoes. Like, I went to It Works in Phoenix last weekend and I missed my family so much, but it was one of those things where I knew that that's what I had to do for my family. So what do you guys do as far as sacrificing? Like, how do you really talk to your team about, you're going to have to sacrifice to have some success with this business. How do you guys touch base on that a little bit, somebody? Yeah, if you guys want to, whoever wants to touch base on that, you guys just unmute yourself. Tina, I think you just want to tell your story.
I just tell my story. The reason I started and how I stay motivated and how I promoted so fast was, it was just very life altering, and it makes me emotional even talking about it. But nobody on my team has come through that struggle. I mean, you can't tell me when you're sitting in a hospital in Fort Collins with your husband who's going in for massive surgery, and you've got a child in PCU in Kansas City, and you're trying to make sacrifices. Nobody on my team has had to make that sacrifice where you're split literally 2 ways, and you're trying to enroll customers and you're trying to enroll distributors and still work a full-time job. I made some major sacrifices, and when people come to me for excuses, I just go back to that moment in time where I had to make those sacrifices, and it got me to where I am. And I didn't get to put my kids to bed. It was either work my full-time job and go get a second job, or make my It Works business work. And I think when I tell my story and they see how emotional and they see the tears coming, they just stop. Like, I mean, I have 2 moms on my team that have special needs kids, and they're always in the hospital, but they're always on the Zooms. The one every Wednesday night when we're Zooming, she's there with her TPN bag, and she's doing the feedings with her kids. So I plug them into the people that they need to see what real sacrifices are being made.
That's awesome. I like that a lot. Anybody else have any more questions as far as sacrificing and, how you get your team to one team, one missions? I know that's personally something that I've struggled with. Some people saying, oh, well, you know, my kids are in high school and I don't have much more time with them. Like just different things like that, how would you respond to some of that? Because I know for me, it's one of those things where I'm a red and I'm like, no excuses, you know, we're going to get out there, work our business. That's me. And so when I go to these people, I have to come with more of a loving heart. And see, Sarah, that's how I am. My team knows that I am no excuses. Like, do not come to me. I have been through, excuse my language, hell and back with my business, and I have still come out in a good place. And, you know, we're working on retiring my husband. And so it's one of those things where, you know, I'm not an excuses person, and a lot of my team knows don't come to me with excuses. So I guess sometimes it is hard when you know, have top leaders in your business and they haven't been to a 1 Team 1 Mission all year, and there's been like 10 in the area. So it's one of those things where, you know, it is rough. But yeah, Katie, if you wanna share real quick, and then we'll end this.
Well, I think for 1 Team 1 Missions, we just, like, the first thing that we have to remember is, like, not everybody is going to have as much local team as like another team. Like, that's something big that we have to remember. So even if we have 100 people that show up, I mean, that's 100 people. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know sometimes we look like, I know I've seen like pictures of like the Indianapolis Odoms, and I'm like, holy crap, how did they get, I mean, granted, Pam was there last week, but like getting hundreds and hundreds of people there. But what I like to do is, obviously we do Gives Back, and like this past week we did a Gives Back where we were donating new or gently used like children's items. So everybody's mom. So everybody was like, oh yeah, I'll bring stuff. And then again, I get my leaders involved. So they all show up early. And, you know, like my mom, she gets so into it. She saves seats for her team. She writes everybody little cards about how proud she is of them with little baggies. And some of them are doing the check-in, and some of them are setting up. So again, with the layered leadership, they are being like, the diamonds are kind of being like pulling their team into the event, you know. And we always talk about, I never used to like this saying, but I do now. If you show up, you go up. And then we make sure to post, you know, like how awesome the event was. We post pictures of the event either on our team pages and on our public pages. And so they're kind of like, oh my gosh, that's what I missed out on. And we talk about how awesome it was. And then, you know, every time we get together, we just kind of talk about stuff we've learned, and we always take pictures. So that way they're like, oh, like I need to get to something like that. So when they do get there, it's amazing. But I really like to get my diamonds involved. And so because they're involved, they want their whole team there. So they're doing anything they can to get people there. I mean, I have girls that pick up their team members on the way there, or we do like our 1 Team 1 Missions at this hotel that also has a hotel bar. So a lot of the times my girls will, you know, obviously, you know, you don't want to be going to the bar if you're rapping, but sometimes people are just there for the business opportunity. So they'll get together for dinner or drinks before the event. So it's kind of less awkward that they're like just coming for that event or whatever. But I always like rule of thumb, for every 10 people that you invite, one will actually show up. That's my like rule of thumb for my rap parties. But same thing, I guess, with 1 Team 1 Missions. I had one of my doubles, she had 10 people that told her that they were going to come to the 1 Team 1 Mission, and then she had 3 show up, which was really awesome. But we just try to get everybody involved, especially with the Gives Back. And like I will post in the group every single day. Countdown is 4 days to the 1 Team 1 Mission, special guests, and you know, here's the Gives Back we're doing. And then next day, 3 days, get your tickets. Like they're going to be more at the door. Like I just, every single day, and like bringing the excitement. I made a live video in the group about how excited I was. So last minute, I mean, we packed the room.
Good deal. That's awesome. I like that a lot. All right, guys, let's see here. We're pretty much finished. Does anybody have any other tips that they want to throw in real quick before we stop recording? Anybody have any other tips real quick?
This is not about sacrificing for 1 Team 1 Mission, but I did kind of do like a little survey, and I did an analogy about when you're working out and when you want to lose weight, you have to do certain things. You have to set small goals and long-term goals, and you have to make sacrifices. And then you have to think about how you're going to feel when you reach your goals, and that puts into perspective if those sacrifices are worth it. And I had them list out, what are you willing to sacrifice? sleep? Are you willing to sacrifice watching your TV shows? If you're working in the bathtub while you bathe, I mean, what are you willing to give up to get your goals? And I think they said that actually writing it out and thinking about it made it more real for them, that this is what they have to do. I told them that my house is clean, but I have so much I want to organize, and I'm putting that off for now because I want to invest in my business, and I can do organize my closet later, but I've got to use my time wisely right now when this business is a marathon. But you know, there's times you got to sprint, and this time we need to be running together. And so you have to make sure that you're doing things that are growing your business and making that a priority.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And some people are unfortunately just going to be hard to get through than others. Some people, you know, are just not going to care and, you know, move on to the next. But all right, guys, I am so excited. Thank you guys for joining me on this Zoom. And please bear with me because I'm not very techie, so I do have a harder time, and it takes me a little longer to upload these things on YouTube. So any tips for a 2-hour Zoom to be uploaded on YouTube, then please shoot them my way. But all right, guys, talk to you later. Have a good night or have a good afternoon.